Hello, my name is Oluwatosin Olajumoke for short, and I'm the identity coach, identity and visionary coach, also the founder of Other Creations. I want to wish you a happy International Women's Day 2023 with the theme Digital, which is innovation and technology for gender equality. A very beautiful theme for this year, and it got me so interested and it took me down memory lane. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my sojourn into the digital world in order to build a career with you. So if you're a woman, I would love that you listen to this. If you're watching this on my reels, I'm going to post it on my YouTube so you can catch the full video there. But I'll try as much as possible to post them bit by bit on my reels. But if you want to watch the video at a stretch, head to my YouTube with the name Oluwatosin Arodudu. You're going to catch the video there. So the theme for this year is digital, which means the innovation and technology for gender equality. And you know what? One thing I've realized in my journey so far as a publisher and an identity and visionary coach is that a lot of women are very afraid of technology. They are afraid of venturing into the digital space in order to better their lives. It is very understandable. A lot of us, deal with these fears. And that was practically my own fear because I was coming from a law background. All I knew how to do with the computer, or all I knew how to do with the social, the digital world was to do some browsing, some research. You want to check something on Google, before I ventured into writing. So that was basically all I was doing with my, digital knowledge at that particular time in my life before I entered into my self discovery journey. I remember back then in 2014, 2015, I used to, check all these blogs that were reading then, and I would drop beautiful comments. And sometimes my husband would, come across my comments, maybe when he's checking something on my laptop, and he would be like, "Oh, you're a beautiful writer. Why don't you just create your own blog?" But at that point, I thought it was just overreaching. I didn't pay attention to those things he was saying then. I was enjoying myself on the blogs, on some of the groups that I joined on Facebook, dropping beautiful comments and just learning from people. But I never knew that, I was gradually building myself into the digital space. And come 2016, when, I wanted to be more, something in me wanted to, leap forward, as in I wanted to be more than who I was as a then. So I started to question myself. If you have read my book Identity, you would have read this story inside it before. So I started to question myself, and on this particular day, while I was questioning God, like, what's your purpose for me? This I'm going to continue. At that time, it really hit me hard because I had applied for a job and I had scaled the first interview. So I was thinking that they were going to actually pick me, only for me to be dropped. So it really hit me hard, and it made me to go into myself and start to ask God, what next? And, I heard the Holy Spirit whisper to me that I should start blogging. And that was how I stood up that particular day. I checked Blogspot. I didn't really like what I was saying. It wasn't that interesting for me. So I went to WordPress. It looked interesting, but it looked like magic. Imagine somebody who does not have, I've never built anything before with tech or, work on the computer that deep. All I used to use the computer for was to browse, perhaps fill applications and all that. So I never saw myself as someone that would one day start to write on a blog or create a blog for myself. So when I landed on WordPress, I backtracked. I've shared this story in my blog and with people and in my books over and over again because I believe that it's a turning point in my life, and everything I am today, that was where the journey began. So, I backtracked when I saw how WordPress was, and I'd already heard people say that, oh, somebody's using WordPress, and they'll make it like a big deal, like, for this person to be using WordPress and they are a tech guru, that thing used to scare me. I'll be like, okay, I don't even like mathematics while I was in secondary school. All I know is art. That's my specialty, and English, literature, and all that. And that was why I did law as my first degree. So, I started to remember all those things I'd read, and this is why you have to be careful. Some of the things that you're taking from people affects your psyche. It affects your growth. It shoots down your courage, and it doesn't make you very proactive because by the time you hear negative things all the time, it just kind of keeps you in a limbo. So you have to be very careful about the kind of information that you expose yourself to. That's number one lesson in this video. So, I now I had a chat with my husband, and I was like, I entered WordPress, and it looks like magic. Am I really going to be able to, own my own blog and manage things? And he was like, pray about it. So when he said pray about it, I was like, okay. So I made some prayer. I prayed, and the following day, the Holy Spirit told me to go back to the website. I think that was GoDaddy. That was where I wanted to build it from. So, and before I knew it, there were templates, and I just did it, bam, bam. And before I knew it, my first blog became live. That was in February. Unfortunately, I can't remember the dates, but I can actually trace it if I check my Facebook page. And that was how my first blog was created, titled Musings and Thoughts. I just did some things at the back end, and boom, it became a live blog. And at this point, I didn't even remember then that in 2014, when Other Creations started as an online business, then we're into clothing. I did some coding at the back end in order to be able to put those, the, what do they call it now? The clothings onto the website space for the e-commerce. I did some coding, but I didn't believe in myself enough. And that was in 2014, January. I didn't believe in myself enough. So I didn't even remember that I had done that in the past. I had built a website in the past where I was, operating an e-commerce business, but the business shut down after like 6 months, and due to some financial orders and all that. So I just packed it in one side. So, and that was it. I prayed, and before I knew it, my first blog became live, Musings and Thoughts, and that was where my journey started from. The following year, I wrote 3 books, self-published by me. 2018, God told me that I was going to be a publisher. In 2017, he said I should write books. I wrote books, self-published by me. And I was doing these things because I wasn't working at then. So I didn't want to put a lot of pressure on my husband by asking him to, go and pay for people that will help me build a website and all that. So I had to learn. I was self-taught so that I reduced the pressure on my family, family finances. I was being considerate. But I was teaching myself along the line. My first 3 books, they were not really well published. But it was a learning curve for me. And when God told me in January that it is time for you're going to own a publishing company and you have to move. And that was that. I moved. I spoke with my husband, and he said, when are you starting? And before I knew it, everything I needed to become a publisher, the software I needed to buy and all that, everything was made readily available for me. So in this journey, we need God. As a child of God, I'm speaking from the perspective of being a child of God now. There is nothing. Somebody was asking me recently, and they were like, oh, I should say something. And everything I was just saying was God, God, God. So my journey is all about God. There was nothing, everything I am today, God has helped me. And I cannot, when I share my story, you would always see the God effect. It's not me being trying to be religious. It's just my reality. That's my story. So, and that was how I ventured into publishing. It was very strange. A lot of things that I needed to learn that I didn't know that I had the capacity to learn. And it's just been a journey. And I remember that my first job ever into the career world, after the jobs I did in Nigeria, into the career world abroad in Ireland, was as a result of the experiences I have had as a publisher. As a publisher, I had to work with some softwares. I had built myself. I was able to use Canva to design things. And when they said I should bring a brief for that position as an HR in that organization, it was the jobs that they had done in the past and the things that I gave them as a form of demo for the kind of project that they wanted me to work on. That was what I presented. And this is the beauty of, the digital world. When you know how to navigate yourself on the digital space, you're going to build a career for yourself. That's my story. My navigation on the digital space, my innovations, my venturing into technology was what helped me to eventually become a career woman, aside being a businesswoman. Because my initial thought while I finished my youth service was to become a career woman. And that was the vision I had then. I had a vision for myself, but life happened and I had to navigate. From there, I did my master's, did my second master's, got married, did my second master's. I was just, these were journeys, these were steps that were building me for the plans and purposes of God for my life in the future. And I can tell you, without mincing words, that my sojourn on the digital space is the reason why I have been able to build a career today. My first job was as a result of my knowledge in the digital world, having to be a publisher, having to work with some softwares, having to expand my knowledge about how to navigate on the digital space, in innovations and technology. Those were the things that helped me, that gave me the confidence. Because as I grew on those terrain, I was able to build more confidence in order to be able to stand before people when it comes to interview. And my second job was a financial and accounting job. I have no prior knowledge to this. But because I've been able to navigate in the digital world, I had the confidence and I knew that if I could do what I could do then this job, if I am being trained, I would be able to also do it without any form of fear. And that was my story. I entered into not just bookkeeping, into core financial accounting. Imagine working with some software that you've never heard before in your life. It was like magic, and a lot of calculations were involved. And I was practically working. It's a non-charitable organization. I was working in the particular um, branch. I was still sitting on four other branches. So, as a finance and administrative officer, I was sitting on like five different accounts from different branches. So imagine I was working like with five different softwares. So it means that you have to do the same thing on five different softwares and everything has to balance. Why? I was able to venture into that terrain because of my journey in the tech world. Because I've realized that, through the innovations I've been able to do and the technology, the things I had been able to learn in tech, I realized that there was nothing that was impossible for me to do. And that has been my story. And these experiences has also brought me to where I am today, where I'm also an integral part of a non-charitable organization. And I am I keep the books. I do a lot of things with the website. I do a lot of things with the accounting, a lot of different kind of roles because of the ways I have been able to navigate my journey via the technology world and the digital space as a whole. So I want to encourage you today as a woman. I'm sharing my story with you to let you know that there is nothing impossible for you to do. Don't limit yourself. Don't say that, oh, I studied English in the university. I have no prior knowledge of computer science, or I don't understand how to innovate. No, you can do exceedingly more than you can imagine. All you just need is the passion, is the strength, is the doggedness, the diligence. Study to show yourself the in the nature to learn from people, that are doing it well, not to become. Don't just look at other women and you want to enter into a competition with them. No, it doesn't work like that. Look for women that you know that you can submit to, women that you can learn from. When you hear submit, it doesn't mean that you are going there to be battered. No, it just means that you put everything you know aside and go with the spirit of humility to learn from people that are pace setters. This is one of the character that a lot of women also have to embody. Everybody just wants to be a boss. There comes a time in your life that you must put your boss garment in one corner and go meet the people that can put you through. That's what I mean by submit. Like, you forget everything you know. Don't intercept when you are being taught. You bow and learn, because you can only learn and be impacted by people that you recognize their grace and you are able to bow to them. That's the only way that they can impact you. If you go with the spirit of pride, oh, I'm a boss of my own. I command people submit to me, so I don't have to submit to anybody. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot, and sooner than later, the gaffes will become obvious to the whole world. So as women, we must learn how to identify the women that are pace setters in your community, and go after them, bring value. It is very important. Don't just have a mentality of being a user or an entitled mentality. No, bring value to the table. Come with a pure spirit. It is very important. A lot of women who are leaders they are weary of bringing women who look up to them very close, because oftentimes they get their fingers burnt. Why? Because some of them come with humility, and at the end of the day, you see that they are even looking for ways to, sabotage you. They're looking for ways to 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 diminish you, to make you feel like you're not all that. The moment they get what they need from you. So if you are a woman and you have this kind of mentality, it is better for you to dump it in the trash. So if you are going to learn from a woman who is a leader in your community, or somebody you have identified that can impact you, go with a very pure spirit. Learn, appreciate them, bring value to the table. You know, Let them feel that what they are teaching you, or whatever space that they occupy, they deserve to be there, and you honor them. It is very important. Honor them so that they can give you more, so that they can open doors for you. In this life, you can't do it alone, but you can do it with the right people. So identify the right women in your community and learn from them so that you can also better your life. So if you're afraid of tech today, I want to implore you that fear is inconsequential. That fear is just there to limit you. That fear is just there to cage you. You can do far, exceedingly more than you can imagine. You might be looking at your life now as a woman, and because you're going through a very hard time, and you decide to write yourself off, forget it. Hard times are seasonal. It will come and it will go. It doesn't decide the plans and purposes of God for your life. The hard times you might be going through now might have, shredded your self-pride and battered your self-esteem. It does not determine your ability to grow yourself when it comes to the digital world, when it comes to innovations and technologies. There are a lot of women out there who are practically, living in an environment that is horrible, like where their self-esteem have been battered. But somewhere inside of them, they've made up their minds that I will become what I desire to become. And before you know it, you see these women change their lives, they transform themselves, and they will become what you'll just be shocked, like, what exactly is going on? Isn't it this person that was very low, and that, they couldn't even speak where people are speaking? Look at who they have become. Why? Because there's something inherent in them that is pushing them to be all that God wants them to be. So don't write yourself off, and don't think that whatever situation you're going through now is why you should stay limited. As at last year, I told some women that came to me for counseling about, venturing into the world of bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is another aspect in technology that you can also explore as a woman. You can do it remotely. It's there is a lot of, you can grow in it, and you can build your financial capacity via bookkeeping. All you need to do is to look for one of those softwares, learn it, and begin to, help upcoming companies to absorb those softwares into their technology, or into their, growth and success as a company. So if you want to know more about this, you can come to me, then I'll put you through and I will show you some of these things and the areas that you can explore in order to build yourself. So, yes, another thing I want to tell you is that don't wait until you're perfect. In this technology world, you cannot wait until you're perfect before you start to showcase yourself. So don't wait until you become a badass, sorry for that language, someone that creates the kind of graphics that is the best and is just, it's just exceptional. No, just create that little graphics you can create. Just continue to create. That's the secret behind being a creative. You must create in order to become an expert in your creativity. You must continue to create. Don't wait until you're perfect before you begin to showcase the work of your hands. Don't wait until you're perfect. And collaborate with the right people. It is very essential in this journey. You can't collaborate with everybody. Yes, you need to understand that. There's some people you are going to collaborate with and need to drag you further down. But recognize the right people and collaborate with them. They are around you. You just need to pay attention, and you just need to bring down every mountain that you have erected in your heart. Some of us have erected a lot of mountains in our hearts, and it keeps us in a cage. It keeps us stuck. Bring down those mountains and recognize the right people. Ask God, who do you want me to collaborate with? Who do you want me to go to learn from? Who do you want me to submit to? Who is that woman around me that you want me to connect with? If it takes, sometimes some of them you have to buy what they're selling. Go that far. Buy what they're selling. Show that you care about them, and you're not doing it in pretense. You're being real. God looks at our hearts. Oftentimes, our relationships don't yield results because our hearts are polluted. Our hearts are mischievous. You're coming with a very pretentious intent. So God will resist you. But when you come with a pure heart, you will realize that you will get favor, you will get support, you will get love. People will open doors for you on a platter of gold. I understand how these principles work. I've been a recipient, and I've been that person who has been in that place that is opening doors for people. Why? Because they are coming with a pure heart. And understand that For you to call someone a leader, they've gone through their tests, they've gone through their trials and tribulations. So they understand things that you are not even aware of. Sometimes you might think that you're being smart and you want to come around them. Some of them have already seen you before you came. So beware. So cleanse your heart as a woman in this journey of developing ourselves, personal development. It is very important that you cleanse your heart consistently. It's something that you have to do consistently. In your environment, there are things that might trigger you, that might want you to put you in a place of bitterness, or put you in a place that you start to nurse some negative emotions. You must be intentional about purging yourself so that you can enjoy the plans and purposes of God for your life. And also, you must learn how to ask questions. Things that are not clear, ask the people that know. Ask them from a place of humility. Ask them because you want to learn, not because you want to use the information that they give you to fight them. We have to be very careful and pay attention to these things. Then, in this journey of growth, of personal development, you must eschew unhealthy competition and self-comparison. These are one of the things that brings women down. You must trash those habits, that nature. A lot of women are fond of it. They are fond of it, sorry. Self-comparison. You are looking at a woman who has built herself. She's in the chapter 20 of her life. You're just in chapter 1, or you're in chapter 5, and you are in competition. And what this does to you is that this is a different topic entirely, but let me just chip it in, because personal development is a whole lot. It's encompassing, and this is part of it. So because I've realized a lot of women are stuck today because of this kind of nature. So you're looking at a woman who has built herself and you want to be like her, then you enter into unhealthy competition. What that does to you is that it transforms you into a different personality entirely. It begins to color your vision. It poisons your chalice. So you have to be very careful in this world of, personal development. As you unleash your identity and you aspire to become a visionary, you must deal with the roots in you. The Bible says that the trees that are not bearing fruit, the Lord will remove them, and He will also prune you. That means that, so learn how to submit yourself so that God can prune you. All those nature that are in you as a woman that is not letting you grow accordingly, you have to deal with them. Every leader you see around you, they've gone through the process. Personally, I had to deal with a lot of things also in me. I had to allow God to prune me. There are some things in the past that I will see and I will react and be very angry. Today, I just smile because I have garnered wisdom. I smile and I move because my vision is more important than, just reacting to things that will not help me in my journey. So, once again, happy International Women's Day. I've just said a lot of things. These are some of the things I've chipped in. A topic on its own that I will talk about in the nearest future. But I just wanted it to be encompassing and let women know that they can do exceedingly more than they can imagine. You might be a very poor woman now, and you are in the grassroots. Understand that you can become a tech expert. It's just for you to make up your mind. Yes, I tell you this categorically. You might be a poor woman in the grassroots right now, and you are opportune to watch this video. As a matter of fact, you might be selling palm oil, and you are thinking that, oh, tech world is not for me. That's a big lie. It's a big lie. It is actually for you. All you need to do is to begin to transform your mindsets. Work on your mindset. I can do far exceedingly more than I can imagine. Start from the beginning. If you are a bit learned, then you can go for courses that will help you to understand English more. Then from there, go into personal development. It's step by step. Go into personal development. From there, look for a software or something in the digital space that you can learn. Then you become an expert at it. And before you know it, you start to generate funds for yourself. You start to generate money. You start to make money for yourself. And before you know it, you can even extend into different kinds of businesses. So don't look down on yourself. Don't say that, oh, this place I am right now, it's not my type, that they are calling into technology and innovations. No, it is your type. It is your type. Without your child strapped behind your back and the palm oil you are selling or pepper or whatever it is, you can venture into tech. It's just a matter of renewing your mindset and becoming determined. So, and yes, it is also for you, beautiful lady, that you are you're on the journey of personal development, but you don't really like technology. But the truth is that technology has come to stay. You can actually transform your life via technology. And this is why I love what, UN does. That's the International Women's Day, sponsors and organizers. The way they keep hammering on gender equality and technology and innovations. If you see it in the last 2 or 3 years now, this has always come into it. Even though all the celebrations are valid, whatever you choose to talk about on the International Women's Day is valid, but there's still a way that they chip in technology and innovation. That's to tell you that that is what owns the world right now. So if you're a woman who wants to change your life, you must find a place that you belong there. Find a place, and some of us will find more than the place where we belong in the technology and innovation space, so that we can, transform our lives and just enjoy gender equality and all that. And I want to use the opportunity to also say that give women opportunities. Don't just say that it's only men that can handle technology. And a lot of women are in STEM now. A lot of women are doing amazing things with technology and innovation. There are some organizations that would even give women a leverage because it is women, and they're trying to give them a space in order to make this thing, the gender equality, to be more, to be transparent and to be more pronounced in the work environments. So it is very important that as a woman you develop yourself so that you can get to enjoy the dividend of this gender equality that we keep talking about. Don't stay stuck. Develop yourself. It is very important. And broaden your horizon. The Lord will be with you. He will direct your footstep. He will order your footstep and guide you in Jesus' name. So happy International Women's Day. I love you. God bless you. If you have been blessed with this video, please endeavor to share with any woman that comes to your mind, or you can just share on your social media wall, so that more women can get to see it and be inspired. So this is part of my story, and I hope it has inspired you. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming to my talk in my school today. Yes, if you check, let me move aside. If you check my screen, you'll see. Let me move very well. You see, a School of Identity and Visionary Living. So that's what I do. That's what I'm going to be doing on this space. I'm going to be talking about a lot of things that can help us in our identity journey and in our visionary living. So always watch out so that you can be blessed. It is my joy that you live maximally, that you enjoy God's plans and purposes for your life, and that every negative root that is in you is removed, yanked out, so that you can enjoy your life. You can be everything, but when you have all those negative roots, it drags you down, it weighs you down, it gives you depression. You don't enjoy your life. You might have everything and you don't have joy. Why? Because you've not dealt with your negative. So I'm going to be bringing a lot of resources for us on this space. Watch out. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also follow my reels consistently. I'll be sharing some of these videos there. And make sure that you follow my YouTube so that you can get to watch each and every one of them in all, without missing any part of it. All right. Take good care of yourself. Bye.